Brothers, I want to talk about a quick and important topic today, that we must continue to maintain professionalism, meaning we should strive to be professionals in every single aspect of all subjects. We shouldn't be professional in one part of the profession and unfortunately fall short in any area. No, a truly complete professional must be highly proficient in all the various aspects of the profession. Today, I have an electric motor as an example for an industrial air compressor unit which was previously wound and came to me completely burnt out and damaged. I want to carefully rewind it to its original state. The winding is old, yet very well done and skillfully executed, and you will notice that the gauge of the form is truly excellent and impressive. Honestly, I was very pleased when I saw the gauge of the form. It is absolutely wonderful and remarkable from both sides. Notice how exceptionally excellent and noteworthy it is. This gauge clearly indicates and demonstrates that the person or technician who wound it before me had professionalism and great taste and attention to detail in their work. However, the simple observation I want to make so we can continue this beautiful, wonderful and admirable level of professionalism is that the man did not work incorrectly at all in any way, and his work is absolutely correct and precise. I'm not harshly criticizing or undermining him as a worker, but there are some minor deficiencies or areas for improvement, let's say. The spices that are added to food to make it taste delicious, so we are lacking here in the spices. How? Now I found it. Wound with 2 wires, meaning the winding is wrapped with 2 wires, and the operation is wound with 3 wires. It's normal for it to be wound with more than 1 wire, but what made me film the video is that all the wires are of the same gauge. For example, I recorded them here. The operation is wound with 3 wires of 6.5, and the winding is wrapped with 2 wires of 5.5. What does this mean? It means they are the same gauge. Instead of working with 3 spools, he might not have had 3 spools. He could have had 1 spool and distributed it over 3 spools and worked. He might have bought 3 spools and worked with them. It could be that the matter overwhelmed him, cost him, and increased his difficulty. If, for example, their measurements were all different from each other, we would say that he put 1 spool of each type and worked. But with the same gauge, it will be a struggle. It's very rare to find technicians who have, for example, 3 spools of the same gauge. However, it is unwound from 1 reel and placed on a second reel based on running 2 reels, and then it is unwound onto a third reel, so he has 3 reels. The quantity indicated on the new reel might increase a little. This little increase is what he lost. This is what I am talking about. We, through our technical skill, can switch the wires to make 2 wires, 1 wire, 3 wires, or 4 wires, and we can convert 3 wires into 1 or so. We can work with 1 reel, which is excellent work, and the setup is perfect, and everything is fine. However, he still has an issue with this topic, which is the number of wires. Why didn't he reduce them? Why did he work with 3 reels to make it easier for himself, or to avoid the cost of buying 3 reels? I received a motor that I want to wind. If I go buy another reel for it, you all know that today reels are expensive. So if I buy another reel, it means we didn't benefit from the cost of the motor we want to wind. So today I want to talk about how we can convert 3 equal wires into 1 wire, or possibly 2 wires, depending on what we can do to reduce them ourselves in work and the number of reels. Okay, quickly, I advise everyone to do as I do. Here I have recorded the cross-sectional area. I don't have a table from the tables available online. I created a table for myself, calculated the cross-sectional area for almost all the wires, and recorded it in my notebook, and I work with it. Some of it I have memorized and work with it. Okay, now, what is the topic that I want to address? The topic I want to address is that we need to calculate the cross-sectional area of a 6.5 wire. Since the 3 are the same, we calculate the cross-sectional area of a 6.5 wire, which is 33. We multiply it by 3 to get the total cross-sectional area for the 3 wires. Of course, the cross-sectional area of 6.5 gives us 33. Multiplying 33 by 3 gives us 99. We have approximately a wire of 11 and 12. So we have approximately a wire of 11 and 2. It gives us 99, so we can wind it with one wire of 99, the same series connection as it is. We don't change anything. The number remains the same. We don't change anything. We can wind it with an 11 and 2 wire. Some might say, I don't have a wire of 11 and 2, or it's difficult to work with a slightly stiff wire, and so on. It's simple. Divide it into 2 wires, meaning we get 2 wires with a cross-sectional area of 49. We have a wire of 8, and its cross-sectional area is 50, so we can now wind with 2 8 wires. We can wrap it with 2 8s, the same number, instead of 3 wires. We can also wrap it with one single 8 and double the number, connecting in parallel. As you know, this is the end, with the beginning on a wire from the outside, and on the opposite side, the end with the beginning on a wire from the outside. We can wrap it with one single 8 and double the number. Also, the winding can be done with 2 5.5 wires. We can wrap it with one wire instead of 2 5.5. Let's see what the cross-sectional area of the 5.5 is. Its area is 23, so we have 2 wires of 23, which gives us 46. We also have a 7.5 wire, which has a cross-sectional area of 44. We can wrap the winding with a 7.5 wire and connect it as it is in series with the same number. Of course, I don't want to write everything I'm saying, so I prefer to speak it out because we've talked about this topic a lot, and there are many videos available. We don't want to dwell too much on this topic. The important thing is that we managed to wrap it instead of 3 wires. We wrapped it with 1 8 and connected it in parallel, doubling the number. Instead of wrapping it with 2 5.5 wires, we can wrap it with a 7.5 wire with the same number and the same series connection without changing anything. And of course, it doesn't change anything in the motor. It remains the same strength and the same thing, but we have completed our skills and professionalism by making our work easier. And instead of bringing 3 pulleys, we worked with 1 pulley that we already have, and there are no issues with it. I consider this skill to be one of the most important skills in our profession, changing wire diameters and controlling them. Hope you benefit from this information.